Hello everyone. I'm Poovarasan, Research Scholar of Visual Communication Department. I'm happy to once again welcome you all to the third day of our fifth international conference conducted by Department of Visual Communication in SRM Institute of Science and Technology. As Simeon Fritzen said, the biggest part of our digital transformation is changing the way we think. In that way, this conference focused on digital culture and politics beyond identity and power. Let's quickly recap the path which we passed through the last 2 days of events. The conference was inaugurated by Dr. John B. Paulik, Professor, Department of Journalism and Media Studies from the State University of New Jersey. He addressed about the growth and future of digital communication as metaverse, in which he expressed evaluation of modern day digital communication from the 2D internet communication to virtual reality world. On the same day, 7 researchers present their paper on the topic media and the politics under the chairmanship of Dr. G. Balasubramania Raja, followed by on second day, 7 researchers present their paper on the topic media and culture under the chairmanship of Dr. Sadish Kumar. Now we are on the third day of the conference, and today's topic is media and communication. As John Warnock quoted, mass media actually has the possibility of turning people into more understanding and more empathetic people. In order to prove this quote, 8 researchers from the different university of the nation are ready to present their paper on this conference. I am glad to inform that Dr. Umesh Arya, Dean, Faculty of Media Studies, Department of Communication Management and Technology in Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology will be our honorable chairperson of today's session. Professor Umesh Arya is media teacher, life coach, healer, and a corporate trainer. He has a teaching career of 22 years and published 40 research papers in national and international journals. Dr. Arya has developed 24 customized research engines on various subjects. His PhD findings are published on the website of United Nations Public Administration Network. He has delivered lectures in the University of Florida at Caswell, USA. Also, he visited few countries including UK, Netherlands, Germany, and Belgium for his academic pursuit. Professor Umesh Arya is an international Yoga Alliance and Ministry of Ayush certified yoga and meditation therapist and a teacher of the art of living. He is a certified hypnotherapist and the past regression therapist. He has treated thousands of people affected by the mental health issues. Professor Arya has copyrighted one term take back, which means technology vacation. Also, he has invented and patented ECA therapy. He is a trainer of Google News Initiative Indian Training Network. We are happy to welcome you, sir. Sir, shall we start? Miss Arya, sir, shall we start the session, sir?
Yeah, please. Yeah, good morning, Poovarasan, Bhavna ji, Parmeshwari ji.
Good morning.
Case 51 CV. A lot many good names are Dr. Nelson, Punish, HOD Viscom, Anas, Pragati, Broshkan, and Amjad. Yeah, so very happy to see you all here, and this would be a very great session, I believe. Not because I'm chairing it, but because of you people who will be, presenting the new media ideas relating to the, topic which we have selected today. And as a chair, I will not interfere much because my job is not to speak, but let you speak, right? And just with, some a few instructions like, since the time is less and I'm a strong votary of giving more time to the people so that they can express their ideas in a very lucid manner. But sometimes it happens that sessions are lined up. So for this session, we have decided that every candidate will get 7 minutes. So you are supposed to line up your presentation in such a way that in 7 minutes you spend minimum time on the introduction and maximum time on the results and other things, right? So that something new can come up. And in the meantime, I would also like to be excused uh, for a few hiccups because I am traveling now and I'm in some central university. So the net connection is not that much good here. So once our first speaker starts, then I will be moving in a car, and then I will be going to a particular room where the net connection will be good, right? So if that interferes slightly, so please excuse me for that, right? And all of the people who have joined here, I would request them that please switch on your videos, and let's have the personal exchange of energy, provided that you have sufficient bandwidth. Sometimes people are in the far-flung area, so making video on consumes their bandwidth, right? So if that's be the case, then it's okay. But if the connection is okay, then you must switch it on, right? And uh, yeah, for Q&A, I think we will be taking all those Q&A in the end. Otherwise, the session will be beyond proportion, right? So I hope you agree with this. And uh, should we start then with the first speaker?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Shall I call up
So Purva, who is the first speaker?
Anushka Srivastava, DCP number 26, Anushka Srivastava. Ma'am, you can present now, ma'am. Before that, I want to clarify that, dear participant, I request everyone to complete your presentation within 7 minutes for the time sake. Ma'am, you can start, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Am I audible to everybody and is my screen visible? Hello? Hello, am I audible to everybody and is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. So today we are in the third session of our international conference, which is on media and communication. And this is Anushka Srivastava talking about social and behavior change communication and health and evidence from a systematic literature review. And I've done this paper with my supervisor, Dr. Neeru Prasad. With her assistance, I have finished this study on time. And beginning with the study, I would like to start with the introduction, a brief introduction about the what I am going to work or what I have done or work on this particular topic. Talking about health, communication for health is considered a very essential component of global health agendas. And over the last few decades, major health organizations have also emphasized on the importance of good health, namely health for all is amongst the essential goals of sustainable developments to be achieved by year 2030. In this study, the major domain that I have worked upon is health communication as social and behavior change communication. As we all know that access to information and its use has been reshaped in the past few years with the technological advancements, and health information and the channels that facilitate the exchange and flow are the key elements of a robust information dissemination process. In addressing the diverse health issues, more targeted communication approaches are designed to make the optimal use of resources. And social behavior change communication is one such approach which has been widely used by the practitioners these days in public health domain. Talking about the purpose of study, and this study attempts to systematically review the literature which is based on specifically on health pertaining to social and behavior change communication, and also it provides a summary of evidence from the effectiveness of SBCC in bringing out desired change in the behavior of the society or the individuals living in the society. Talking about my paper structure, the paper structure includes introduction, where I've talked about health communication, health as a public domain, and other aspects. Then research methodology, where I've talked about the SLR technique, that is systematic literature review that I've used in this study to trace out the various interventions pertaining to SBCC and health. Then after analyzing the literature or after reviewing the ample amount of literature, I've came across these three headings, which are communicating for health, social SBCC and social change, and effectiveness of SBCC in health communication. But I'll be talking about these three headings in very brief, where I've traced down the literature in communicating for health. The access to information and its shape and its use has been reshaped With the technological advancements, several studies have claimed that mass communication interventions have significantly influenced the behaviors of targeted population. The program designs have also become very important and even more varied in both the approach and the content. These programs have become more creative, how the communicators are being using this participatory approach. Many policymakers and implementers have also begun to situate health communication as a social ecological framework. Talking about the second heading, which is SBCC and social change, we know that these are interdependent in some aspects, in the sense that the appropriate and targeted use of communication and its tools helps in bringing about desired change in the society. It is communication that holds the capability to inform, aware, and persuade people. SBCC, talking about SBCC in particular, it uses strategic communication approaches that are employed to promote positive changes in the attitude, beliefs, behaviors, and knowledge of individuals. The idea behind communicating for social change is to make the optimum use of all the available forms of information exchange to bring about the desired changes in the individual's life. The field of communication for social change and health communication has seen deliberate changes from the evolution to information education and communication phase, to behavior change communication, and finally to the social and behavior change communication. Last is the effectiveness of SBCC in health communication. In this particular area, I have discussed about various literature where the researchers have proven that how social and behavior change communication has proven out to be a very important and effective approach in talking about health communication. Now, talking about the research methodology, the study is qualitative in nature, and as I've mentioned, that this study follows systematic literature review pattern. The data extraction for this particular study was done using the Harzing's Publish and Perish software, and the last 10 years literature has been taken, which was from 2011 to 2021. The database that I've selected was Google Scholar, and several variations of keywords using SBCC, behavior change, health communication, social change, or participatory communication were used using the software. The software Harzing's Publish and Perish version 8 has been used to retrieve the required literature, and this software uses different data sources to obtain the desired literature based on specific keywords. For this study, the Google Scholar has been selected as the database, and these are the variation of keywords which I have included. Amongst the different keywords, the top cited literature from each keyword category were selected for this study, and specifically research articles in English UK language were used. This is the methodology that I have worked upon in this review paper. Talking about the discussions and findings of this study, I'll talk about major literature. I have used more than 12 to 15 literature in this particular study, but here I'll be talking about the major study which have been highlighted and which have actually proven out to be very helpful in tracing out the interventions and in tracing out the effectiveness of the SBCC approach. uh, I'll be briefing out in like Zuma in 2016 has given new insights into HIV epidemic in South Africa. In this study, they have concluded that the efforts taken by the government for the prevention of HIV/AIDS through various campaigns were not enough, and they have suggested that major efforts should be taken using the SBCC interventions to have the supreme success. Similarly, in another study, where they have said that much of the growth in the field of health communication was stimulated by the AIDS response that began.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yes, sir.
it would be nice that in the light of the time constraint you come to your findings. So that would be good, I think.
Okay,
Uh,
sir. These are the findings that I have taken across, and I came across after analyzing different forms of literature, which I have mentioned that I have worked upon 12 to 15 literature, and there are only six findings which I found very relevant. So I am pointing out to those only.
yeah, that's good. But keep in mind the time also,
Yes,
please.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
thank
for
you.
sure, sir,
Thank
for
you.
sure. Yes, welcome. Okay, so these are the three findings, or you can say the major highlighting aspects of the literature review that I have done. These are the three studies where the researchers have emphasized that how social and behavior change communication plays a very important role in either preventing the disease or either suggesting the preventive measures or making a desired change in the behavior of the people. The delivery of interventions and the design of their messages, it impacts on that. Talking about the third study, where they have actually designed a vaccine model, Tika Vani, which was to educate the people about immunization and their primary health care. The study was about a pilot trial of the SBCC intervention. The researcher in this study concluded that the appropriate intervention could be used to strengthen the communication regarding healthcare. These are two of the different studies where I will be briefing out about how they have highlighted that a participatory communication approach or the social and behavior change communication approach has the potential to deliver the desired or the targeted message. Several researchers with their works have also emphasized that how social and behavior change communication approach has proven out to be very effective in communicating about different health or health aspects such as child health, maternal health, family planning, preventive disease such as HIV, AIDS, etc. And concluding with my presentation, I'll be talking that it provides a brief summary of evidences from the effectiveness of SBCC in approach in bringing desired changes in health status of individuals. This study is all about how I have reviewed the different forms of literature available on SBCC and health issues. And moreover, the study can be used by the government, NGOs, and other policymakers to trace down the scholarly literature to make information dissemination of health related issues and schemes. And the article concludes with a critical assessment evaluation of several pieces of literature, which I've just mentioned about in my previous slides, filtered systematically, and the relevant suggestions that can be adopted for long-term strategies in public health interventions. That's all with my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Kindly wait till the end of the session for the feedbacks, ma'am. Now we call
Yeah,
upon
yeah,
the next
sure.
participant. Now we call upon the next participant, DCP number 45, Bhavna Upadhyaya. Bhavna Upadhyaya.
Yes,
Sorry, ma'am,
yes.
I pronounce your name wrong.
It's Bhavna.
Okay, ma'am,
Sir,
you
am
can
I
start.
audible? Am
Yeah,
I
ma'am.
audible and my screen
You
is
are audible.
visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can continue your presentation.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is Bhavna
Ma'am,
Upadhyaya from Jharkhand Lake City University, and this paper is co-authored by Dr. J.K. Panda, who is my guide. So this paper basically, the title is a study on the use of emerging artificial intelligence and assistive technologies in the current care of visually and hearing impaired in India. So basically, this paper is a literature review, and I have found out like what are the assistive technologies and artificial intelligence available for the differently abled in India and how they are utilizing it. So I'm basically focusing on visually and hearing impaired in this particular
Ma'am,
paper.
wait a minute, ma'am. Sorry for interruption. Ma'am, your
Yes,
screen
sir.
not visible, ma'am.
Uh, Sir, I'll reshare it. Wait for a second.
Okay.
Sir, is it visible now?
Yeah, ma'am. Right now it is visible.
Sir, I have started slideshow. Is it visible right now? Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Bhavna, just press F5 because now it is in the PPT mode. So if you press F5, then it will be in the presentation mode.
sir,
So that will be moved.
I did it. Is it visible? And like, shall I
Resume
continue?
slideshow. Yeah, just click the resume slideshow.
Yes, I did. I did click resume slideshow, and like it is visible in the slideshow mode only to me.
No, it is in the PPT mode, but that's okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Artificial intelligence, as we all know, is like including technology into then the like human intelligence and mixing of the technology, and how human intelligence can upgrade the use of machine and how an individual can use it. So artificial intelligence was a term coined by John McCarthy in 1956. So artificial intelligence is these days very extensively used in healthcare and developing new solutions healthcare system. Now coming to the assistive technology. Assistive technology, as we all have been using Alexa, Siri, they all are any technology that is making our human effort like easy, our work easy. So assistive technology is integration of existing technology with artificial intelligence. So I'll be talking about how this assistive technology is helping the visually and hearing impaired through the as Philip and Dockery had said, through the application of AI, we believe that we can play the level field for persons with disabilities and maximize existing and future capabilities of assistive devices. The present paper aims to review the use of assistive technologies for visually and hearing impaired in India and how these technologies are changing their lives. So I have reviewed some of the major path-breaking developments that are there and how our visually and hearing impaired people in India are using them. Now coming to the disability status in India, the WHO and World Bank report has suggested that over 1 billion people globally, approximately 15% of the world population have disabilities and around 80% live in the developing countries. Now coming to the Indian status of the disabled, in 2011 census, out of 21 billion people, around 2.21% of our population is differently abled. There are millions of people living with one or multiple disabilities in India. Disability rights activists in India and various academicians working with on the researching and working with the differently abled have suggested that the number that is like 2.21 population is still very less. The actual numbers of disabled in India is really very high and which is not yet accounted. So census 2011, according to that census, this disability has been divided into 8 categories. First, out of those categories, most of the people have locomotor disability, and the second and third are the hearing and visually impaired disability in India. So I have taken these 2 disabilities in my paper. Artificial intelligence in India has been promoted by the Indian government also. The Union government in 2018 allocated Digital India to transform into digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. There are guiding principles that the government has issued. AI should be used in India on optimizing social goods rather than maximization of top line growth. So our government is also promoting AI, artificial intelligence, and the use and the intervention and the development for the assistive technologies as well. So WHO, artificial intelligence and differently abled. WHO says that the need of assistive technology is increasing globally and is expected to continue to grow in future, driven by the increase of long-term conditions and population aging. The UN Convention and the Right of Person with Disability held in 2019 has also said that AI has the potential to enhance inclusion, participation, and independence for people with disabilities. So this has been said by WHO, by various researchers, by various organizations that are working with the disabled, that if more and more AI could develop, that could play a major role for the development and inclusions of the persons with disability. They'll be included, they'll not be bifurcated, and they'll be included in the mainstream population, and they'll be able to take out their to conduct their regular activities in the desired way. So yes, as WHO has suggested that there is a need for assistive products, but there is currently a huge gap in access to AT. All of the disabled in any or the other way need some of the assistive technology, but there's a huge gap in the utilization of the assistive technology available to them. So I have pointed out some of the major, some of the like prominent assistive technologies that are being used by visually impaired and hearing impaired. So first is the AI-based visual aid that has been developed by Microsoft. A person has to like download the app, and with the help of his mobile, if he points out his phone in the like in front of a person, the mobile will tell everything. How does a person look, what is the hair color, how does he or she looks, and everything. If the same in a seeing AI app is being pointed out in front of a product, the person, the visually impaired, will be able to know how like what is the expiry of that product, what are the ingredients, and everything about the product. Same as the app can also read documents, recognize structural elements, paragraphs, headings, etc. So this is being used by our visually, the prominent app, this is being used by a visually impaired in India.
Please hurry up, Bhavna. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The second one is the AI backpack for visually impaired. This has been designed like after the 2018 implementation, जब हम digital India पे बहुत ज़्यादा बात करने लग गए. Then this has been designed by an Indian only. This is a backpack enabled with Bluetooth technology. The person, the visually impaired, walking wearing those glasses, will be able to know what is ahead and how to like where to go and where not to go. This is how it looks. The third is the eyeway and artificial intelligence. That is also a visual recognition for the visually impaired to navigate. This is also a made in India product to navigate and understand the world around them. Now, the last one is the like assistive technology for hearing impaired. Sign to text, everyone has been using sign language. Not like if no, like all the hearing impaired does not know the sign language, so sign language is being converted into text. That has been used prominently. This is also an app that leverages artificial intelligence powered device agnostic platform that enables two-way communication between the hearing and speech impairment who use sign language and who do not know the sign language. Closed captioning. Captioning is there in the apps like live captioning. Closed captioning is still a problem. Broadcasting ministry has been like a debate like every other day, but closed captioning is still a problem. There's no live text captioning for the hearing impaired. So that is also, this is an app that is working on that, but that is still a problem in India.
Yes, Bhavna, please. And
yes, you. Sir. So as we conclude, artificial intelligence matures. Yes, it is developing, but there is a basic importance to understand the kind and the things that the people with hearing and visual disability, what they want. As an individual, it is your like responsibility to know what are the changes they want, and to make the changes affordable. Along with affordability, availability of such devices is also a problem. The differently able are not aware of the assistive technologies available to them. So the responsibility lies in our hands to propagate the awareness and the use of technologies among the differently abled community. That's all from my side. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks, Bhavna.
Thank you, sir.
So you have nicely pointed out about the different AI technologies, and it is the need of the hour, and more appropriate that we will have to check out the rational use of it, and I'm sure that people like you are working on this. Now I will invite the next speaker.
DCP number 34, Parameshwari. Now you can present your paper. Hello.
So, Parameshwari, are you listening? Okay, right.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
7 minutes start now.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you. My topic is on a case study that is on understanding the representation of physical disability in Fair and Good movie. This is a Tamil movie. So, me and my professor, Dr. Sharman, sir, we both are using this information. And the introduction part is, today our children know about the children with disabilities because our world, that is trend changes.
Your
Most
screen
children with
is,
disabilities.
ma'am, wait, Parameshwari, ma'am. Please wait, ma'am.
Sir?
Your screen is not visible, ma'am. Can you reshare the
My
screen?
screens.
You can restart the presentation, Parmeshwari. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Just close it once and then reshare. Yeah, good now.
People can move to the next slide.
Please go to the next slide, because earlier first slide was visible.
Okay, sir.
You can go to the second slide. Any problem, Parmeshwari? Yeah.
Sir, just a minute, sir. I couldn't know the slides. Just a minute.
Okay. Yeah, it is visible now. Please go ahead.
So my topic is on physical disability. So the introduction part is, today our children know about the children with disabilities because our world changes. So most children with disabilities are now raised at home with their families. So the parents can take advantage of a wide range of services that has been designed to make it far more possible for children with disabilities to grow up, that is, go to school and play with other children and participate in community life. So Tamil cinema is known as Tollywood cinema, the second largest film industry in Indian context. So end date, that is 2018, we expressed that India has become a place of making cinema worldwide. What is it? Sorry for the technical problem.
And is there any problem?
Not able to move the slides. Is it visible to you, sir?
Yeah, ma'am,
Next
yeah.
slide. Okay. So disability in India. A recent study, research showed that around 2.1% of the Indian population has been a disability, and a humbling figure of over 26 million people. So a person can face disability as intellectually and physically at any point in their life, from medical complications or life alterations. So here are some operational definitions that is given by World Health Organization on disability, that connects with the societal strategy with three types: empowerment, disability, and handicap. And you have another definition or medical definition of disability. It is associated with the World Health Organization's international classification of impairment, disability, and handicap. Next one is impairment. Impairment refers to a congenital limb abnormalities, a person's body structure, organ, or mental functioning in the body, disability results more difficult for a person to do certain activities or interact with the world, and can be lifetime and handicap indicator. Life is much difficult every day. And the next disability is cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a group of disorders that affect a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. So cerebral palsy is the most common motor disability in childhood. And I have different movies which is related with cerebral palsy from 1980 to 2020, Touched by Love, and is coming out, Gabby, a true story, My Left Foot, The Mother of Kings, Chain Dance, Dance Me To, my song, Kingdom, One of Once in a Lifetime, How to Kill Your Neighbor's Dog, Tera Mere Saath Rahin, Door to Door, Oasis, Josie the Tiger and Fish, Magnifico, Inside I'm Dancing, The Kid and I, Easter Bunny, Philippine, It Is Fine, Everything Is Fine, Music Within, Variable, Arguments, Life Feels Good, Margarita with a Straw, Temporary Difficulty, Zero, Standing Up for Funny, and 37 seconds. So these are the movies which is related with cerebral palsy. And review of literature, UK 2050 says that disability in cinema welcome the gathering to talk over, debate, and challenge the disability issues. But in real life, it infrequently occurs, and representation of real issues is treated in a complex communication. And another person, Whittington Walsh, he states that a cinematic representation of a disabled splits up the society into two parts as abnormal and normal. And the politics of cinematic representation of disability. This was given by Ranjita Dawn. She analyzed on the absence of sensible representation of disability in Indian movies. Starts up with a wealthy argument by two persons, such as social spectator and media critics. So filmmakers has lost the shrewdness how to handle the difficulties of a disabled with physical and mental person facing their routine life as disfigured and alive. So critically, there is a person who analyzed about 26 Hindi films from 1960s to 2010 based on character model affirmed, and it was also treated that disability need not call as mercy or shame. So movies such as Dosti, Koshish,
Umesh,
Fast.
may I request you to please come to the final part of it, because
Yes,
actually much of the time has been
yes,
lost in the
yes,
technical
yes.
glitches. Yeah.
So my methodology is the study focuses on the portrayal of person with physical disabilities in common feature film Behaviour. So I've done qualitative research approach and content analysis method was adapted. So the movie Perandu start with Mammootty as Madhav as Amutavan, Anjali as Viji, Sadhana as Papa, who is disabled character, and Anjali Amir as Meera, the transgender. And it was directed by Ram and produced by Thenappan and released 2016. And it's a Tamil movie, and it is a cerebral palsy disability, and 2 hours 27 hours, and it was also screened internationally. And uh, I've used two models. So one is medical model and the second one is social model. So medical model is coined by Ronald David, and here is a image. Here is a scene. Papa was seeing. Papa is a character which comes in the movie Parent. Papa was seeing a bird fell from the tree. She was upset, and on seeing it, she cries and weeps a lot. So on seeing this, Amgavan took the bird and kept it in his palm and comes in with Papa and shows her the sparrow, which was on the ground, and now it's on the palm. So it is a kind of comfort. It is a kind of comfort where it is in the palm. So here the character, Papa, is also thinking about her comfort. And the next model is social model. And the social model was coined by Michael James Hoyles Oliver. He was a British sociologist, author, and disability rights activist. And you can see that medical model has barriers. I mean, social model has barriers. That is even there is a scene from this movie. Even hotels and lodges, there is no proper toilets for disabled people. So in this movie, an incident shows that life is so hard for the disabled character. So the toilet room is filled with water all over the tiles. So where Papa can fall while keeping legs on the tiles. So Amudavan is wiping the tiles with a sack and makes the tiles too dry. So here, Papa can use the toilet without any harm. So that this is a barrier where it is for Papa, the character in the movie. And social barrier, that is disability mentors a push of sin. Papa is not accepted in the society. Then you can see the image. She is blasted by other people who lives near her house. That is, even her grandma, even the people who is near her house. That is, residents association members. They also blast her. So, Mudavan is taking this Papa to an isolated place where no human beings are there. And attaining puberty, because this is a situation in the movie where Papa attains puberty at midnight at the age of 14. A single parent is not a lady. He doesn't know what to do. So he calls a lady who is very far from their house to clean and to take bath. So she to ask only for money. So they don't have any courtesy and humanity or Papa. So you can see the barriers. The life of cerebral palsy is really difficult in this situation. The Papa not able to walk properly and stand without a support. Hands are not in that right position to handle her own needs. So even father has to support the lady whom he asked to come and help Papa to keep a sanitary pad. So one person has to hold her while keeping a sanitary pad. So Papa is a loving daughter. She loves her father very much. Society treats these kind of children differently. So society doesn't help them or care them at any cost. So the conclusion is this research proves that the portrayal of person with physical disabilities are shown in Tamil feature film with disgrace. So this creates certain awareness about physical disability and to help the cerebral palsy disability people and to know about the rehabilitation and medical treatment for betterment of their life. And this movie represents human experience such as pain, sadness, expectations, and to make their interest to learn about the society and disability needs in an active atmosphere. So the observation work is signified to reflect, challenge, and inspire in the society to have a social. So good. Yes.
Ma'am, it's time up. You can quickly conclude.
Yes, sir. Finished. So the observation work is signified to reflect, challenge, and inspire in the society to have social beliefs. So a good single father observing her daughter is well said in the movie. So an expectation of the daughter on sex urges making a father on worries. So it shows an emotional connection with the people who are normal towards the disabled. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Now we call upon Miss Silvakani, ma'am, who is going to present our two papers continuously. Silvakani, ma'am, you can start your presentation, ma'am.
Good morning to all.
Good morning, ma'am. You can share your screen, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning to all. Intro to myself. I am K. Salomini, Research Scholar, Department of JMC, Haryana University, Salem. Now going to my topic, self-esteem and interpersonal intimacy, an exploratory factor analysis of college students' exposure to social media users. Next. This is the introduction. People's daily activities have become more focused on social media, and there are numerous facets of social media that interest people's attention. Social media networks have spawned a phenomenon that has grown in popularity over the previous decade. People utilize social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace to form and maintain relationship. Boyd and Elysian, 2007. Next, going to review of literature. According to Aydin and Ohan, 2011, there is a substantial link between low social and home family self-esteem and excessive social media use among adults. Seri Drukul 2010 asserts that there is no intimacy without privacy and that as young adults share more and more on social media, their environment becomes less intimate. Next, going to my objectives and research questions, hypothesis A, to identify the social media usage of interpersonal relationship among exploratory factor analysis in self-esteem and intimacy college students. Next, going to research methodology. This study used a quantitative survey method based on social penetration theory. The researcher will conduct the research. The survey sample is made of college students and the population for current study is made of students from Salem, Tamil Nadu, India. A survey used to be a routine in which 90 college students in Salem were asked to fill out questionnaires. Their self-esteem scale Rosenberg 1965 and social intimacy scale were also used in this study, Miller and Lipcott 1982. Next, going to result and discussion. Table 1, the majority of, both majority of 45% male and female of the respondents had a gender. Next, age of the respondent, majority is 42.2%, age group 21 to 23. Second majority 31.1, 24 to 26 age group. Low majority is above 27, 26.7% of the respondents. The exploratory factor analysis. Table 3 displays is equal to 0.808, which specifies that the sampling is adequate and factor analysis is appropriate for the data. The Bartlett's test of periodicity is 13.66204 with a significance level of highly significant with P greater than 0.1, indicating that there are some relationship between the variables. This is the figure screen plot. Figure 3 displays the screen plot, which is used to determine the number of factors to be retained. The graph shows eigenvalue along the y-axis and the component number along the x-axis. The figure shows that there are 6 components for which the eigenvalue is greater than 1. Table 4 shows that the data has 6 linear components before the extraction process. There are 6 linear components inside the data set for the eigenvalue larger than 1 after extraction under the Varimax rotation approach. The results demonstrate that 6 factors can explain for 66.4% of the common variance shared by 27 variables. The preliminary results show that the final solution will only extract 6 components in table 4. This is the explained before, sir. And next step. Now the explain for factor 1, personal disclosure, understanding your feelings, gratifying connection, close you will feel to most important, demonstrate affection, essential your relationship, important, encouraging and supporting, affectionate, do you feel, are the 12 components that make up component 1. Component 1 has a correlation, I give the value with component 1 having a correlation with the component 1 respectively. With an eigenvalue of 9.197, the component personal activities explain at 28.771% variation. This component has 12 elements. However, the item about how much he or she likes to spend time alone tends to be strongly agreeing with a mean score of 3.51. I give that 11 variables. For those who have a predisposition to agree based on the scales mean score. Next factor 2, with an eigenvalue of 2.600, the second component personal assurance explained 10.226% of the variance. Personal information, how often do you feel close? Personal information sharing, your ability to understand and the factors were all included in this component. I give the value for correlation related. The item reveals very personal information about him, her, resulting in a mean score of 3.24. It has a strong tendency to agree, but there are some exceptions according on their mean scale score. How often do you feel close, share personal information? Are you able to understand and tend to agree? This is the third factor. The third component is described beliefs. It has 3 items. I believe that I have good attitude and I'm capable of doing things, all of which have a correlation with the component I give the value respectively. With an eigenvalue of 2.144, the third component explained 8.280% of the variance. I believe the item self-esteem has a mean score of 3.24. According to the mean scale score, tends to strongly agree. Whole other items take a positive attitude. I am able to accomplish things, tend to agree. This factor for fourth and fifth. The fourth component is described myself. There are 5 pieces in all. Self-esteem, I feel proud. Self-esteem, more respect. Self-esteem, at least on the same plan. Self-esteem, absolutely. Self-esteem, I'm inclined to feel, especially and which have a correlation with component 4 with an eigenvalue of 1.623. The fourth component explained 7.818% of the variance. The item self-esteem has a mean score of 3.83, which are at least equal to the or craft mean score. Self-esteem, I feel give the another mean score value related. To feel, tend to agree according to the mean scale score. The fifth component is described as weakness. It has one self-esteem item at times, I believe, namely, and both of which have a correlation with component 5 with an eigenvalue of 1.216. The 5 components explained 5.722% of the variance. I believe the things self-esteem have a mean score of 3.56 at times. This item self-esteem tends to strongly agree at times, I believe, based on their scales mean score. Sixth component. The sixth component is described as relaxed. It has 2 elements. Self-esteem, I am content, and leisure moments spent alone with him, her, namely, and both of which have a link with the component 6. With an eigenvalue of 1.161, the 6 components explained 5.630% of the variation. The self-esteem I am satisfied item has a mean score of 4.12. According to the mean scale score, tends to strongly agree on some topics but not on others. Leisure time spent alone with him, her tends to agree.
Okay, yeah.
This is my
Bala,
conclusion.
yes, Bala, please come to the conclusion part of it. Thank you.
Okay. To summarize, there are 6 factors that influence self-esteem and intimacy in college students: use of social media, personal activities, self-assurance, belief, myself, weakness, and relaxation are all words that come to mind. Whole thinking of personal activity 66.447% of the variance in all variables was explained by these 6 factors. The highest loading factors in personal activities are personal disclosure. The highest loading factors in personal or conflict, very personal information to him, her. The highest loading factors in positive or self-esteem, I feel that. The highest loading factors in proud or self-esteem, I feel do proud. The highest loading factors in think or self-esteem, at times I think, under the highest loading factors in satisfied laser or self-esteem, I am satisfied, because there is evidence of the underlying structure and the presence of 6 components. The null hypothesis is rejected in this study. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, can I call upon Aishwarya Tamanna, DCP number 31? You can present now, ma'am. Ma'am, are you listening?
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, can I share my screen?
You can share your screen, ma'am.
Good morning, one and all. Presented here, myself Aishwarya Tamanna, research scholar, Department of JMC, and my co-author, Dr. Asubramani, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Haryana University, Salem. My paper entitled Role of Social Media in Handling Interpersonal Relationship. Introduction. Communication is the core element that retains relationship. We all know that with the emergence of technology that we have today, social media has become one of the platforms that connect people without geographical limitation. Probably we consume a lot of media content in the form of music, pictures, TV, and the internet is a part of the communication era. With the emergence of social media, we can see a lot of changes in our communication and daily life activities. Social media is helping to share images, videos, links, and voices with each other, and visual interaction make all of them share and receive information. A strong bond between two or more people refers to interpersonal relationship. Attraction between individuals brings them close to each other and eventually result in a strong interpersonal relationship. We can develop interpersonal relationship through interpersonal communication. Review of literature. Here I included only 2 review of literature due to the time limit. First one, Koch in 2013 stated that SNS using because of a need for self-expression to obtain information about product and service, for personal creativity, and to develop new relationship. One another study from Katz in 1974 and West Turner Zavo in 2010 stated that the uses and gratification theory reflected that individuals are aware of the usefulness and entertainment possibilities when selecting a social medium, and that they attribute value to media content that fulfilling their social needs and gives them satisfaction and pleasure. Theoretical framework. Here I added social penetration theory and uses and gratification theory. According to Alderman Taylor, social penetration theory develop relationship primarily through self-disclosure and closeness develops. It leads to people to move from relatively shallow levels of self-disclosure to more intimate disclosure. According to Blumler and Elliott in use and gratification theory suggests that media users are always playing an active role in choosing and using media for communication, and this theory suggests that people use the media to fulfill specific needs, so they try to seek out the best media for fulfilling their needs. Hypothesis: there will be no significant difference in social media usage based on gender, and there will be no significant difference in handling interpersonal relationship based on gender. There will be no relationship between social media usage and interpersonal relationship. Methodology: to reach the objectives, quantitative analysis is carried out to reveal the role of social media in handling interpersonal relationship. To realize the aim of the study, the researcher engaged a simple random sampling technique to collect primary data, and Pearson correlation test and independent sample t-test were also used to analyze the data to reach out the findings. Table 1 shows social media usage based on gender. Here, independent sample t-test is used to analyze the data. The result revealed that no significant difference was found based on gender in social media usage. This may be because of the equal accessibility and efficacy of both of them. Both men and women can easily access social media as a tool for communication. In our society, there is no gender discrimination for accessing social media. Second table shows interpersonal relationship based on gender. Independent sample t-test is used to analyze the data. The result reveals that there is no significant difference in maintaining interpersonal relationship based on gender. This may be because people have the knowledge about the value of relationship, pros and cons. Without interpersonal relationship, it is not easy to survive in society. To support the result, I added one study from Sendu in 2021. Individuals will actively negotiate with their peers and express their thoughts and feelings confidently. This personal trait can strengthen the establishment and maintenance of interpersonal relationship. Last table shows relationship between social media usage and interpersonal relationship. Pearson correlation test is used to analyze the data. Result shows a weight correlation 0.066 for social media usage and interpersonal relationship. The correlation is not significant at the 0.508 level. There were 103 pairs of data used to reach the result. This may be because people use social media for entertainment purpose, information seeking, and self-image building for creating self-confidence. To support the result, I added Chang in his study 2015 stated that social media has an impact on users' intention to continue using particular SNS, and also one another study from Jackson and one 2013 and Zokipi in 2015, Zhu Tin Lin and Chang 2015, Ryan in 2014 stated in their study. Main goals became the use of social networking site is to have a good experience and fun while interacting with others. And one another study from Ha and James in 1998, 5 dimensions of interactivity include playfulness, choice, connectedness, information collection, and reciprocal communication. Ha and James said that for web surface and self-intelligence, choice dimension, and the playfulness of interactivity fulfill self-communication and entertainment needs. Conclusion: the main findings of the current t-test show that there is no significant difference in the personal relationship based on gender, no significant difference based on gender in the usage of social media, and also Pearson correlation result also revealed that there is no significant difference between social media usage and in the personal relationship of the respondents. In the study, results show that social media usage and in the personal relationship have a weak correlation. Limitation and suggestion. In the study, due to the time limit, researcher used a sample size of 103. Future research could incorporate a large number of sample size to reach out the findings more accurately. And also, this study analyzed the social media usage, but there are a lot of other factors which may influence the interpersonal relationship that can be also included in future studies. So I happily conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing it within the required time period. And it was a nice presentation. You spent more time on the methodology and analysis part of it, and finally the conclusion one. So yeah, it is the required format given the kind of time we have today. So I would request the next speaker to please line up. Yeah, it's Bala again. Yeah.
No, ma'am. No, sir. This is Jambheshwar actually. DCP number 40. Jambheshwar, are you there, sir?
Good morning, sir. Good morning to one and all present here. Shall I have the screen, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can start.
Is it visible? Sir, is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning to one and all present here. My topic of the presentation is exploring online gameplay and motivation among college students under the guidance of Dr. M. Saravanan. Let me go to the introduction part. People are embodied in the media part of their life, like information sharing, obtaining news feed, uploading photos, creating content, gameplay, and watching movies, etc. Video gameplay is one of the main ways to spend leisure time in the nowadays society. Particularly, online game has a great impact, especially on children and adolescents. Okay. Again, coming back to the review of literature, due to the stipulated time, can I skip the review of literature, sir? And my research question is, what are the college students' perception on the online game practices? And the objective of the study is to find out the college students' perception on online games and to analyze the effects of online games and the motivation behavior among college students. So methodology with the samples and sampling techniques, the present study was chosen samples through purposive sampling technique. The respondents of 100 were recruited from undergraduate and postgraduate degree pursuing students from Chennai city, and the suburban college students aging between 18 to 23 years old participated in the study. The researcher carefully selected the subject, those who had played online games. Survey instruments. The survey questionnaire is divided into two sections. The first section of the survey questionnaire focus on socio-demographic of the respondents, like name, age, place of the residence, educational and family income. The second part of questionnaire consists of online gaming preference and gaming habits. A 10-item motivation scale was used to measure gaming in the college students. The scale was adopted from the previous research work of Genevieve in 2016. The scale utilized a 5-point Likert scale and values ranging from 1 strongly agree to 5 strongly disagree. The procedure of the research. The researcher clarified to the respondents that the participants of the researcher is voluntary. The respondents provide information would be keep it as confidential material. The study survey questionnaire was completed using a self-administered method. The data was collected from December 2021 to January 2022, 2 months. Data analysis. The study results were analyzed using the statistical tool like percentage and standard deviation. The
Sorry to
results are as
disturb
follows.
you. Sorry, sir. Sorry to disturb you. Your slide is not changing, sir.
Oh, okay. Which page is it in, sir? Now, is it visible, sir?
It's visible, sir. Okay.
Uh, uh, and for the results, the table 1.1 represents the distribution of respondents by socio-demography, like the respondents are male or female, and their age and the place of residence where they are living in a city or suburban area of the city. And is it changing, sir? Page. The table 1.2 distribution of respondents by educational details, whether the respondents are doing science or are in arts, and they are pursuing their UG or PG level of their studies. And table 1.3 represents the respondents monthly income, in which state they are coming under the economical level. And table 1.5 represents the distribution of respondents to play online game with others, to whom they are tend to play with their gaming, whether they are playing with their friends, siblings, parents, or some strangers. And the table 1.6 represents the distribution of respondents by preferred game genre, in which genre they are willing to play the game, whether they are choosing the action or adventure or simulation or puzzle games. So this is the motivation for online game playing. The table 1.7 represents the distribution of respondents by online game playing and the level of motivation. This is the Likert scale. And the findings for the research is the present research examines the playing of online games and its most motivational behavior among college students. In this study, majority of the samples were more males than females, and suburban students participating is very less when compared to the city students. In addition, the survey study undergraduate college students participated more than postgraduate students. Furthermore, half of the samples have an average of significant amount of monthly income, that is 2 to 3 lakhs per annum. In relation to the online game planning pattern, students were playing online games an average of 15 hours a week, and students prefer to play online games in home environment than college. In continuation with that, the students prefer to play online games with their friends and siblings than parents. In addition, male prefer to play shooting games and the adventure games game genres, and female prefer to play puzzle game genres. The respondents' primary reason to play online games to make social interaction, establishing new friends, meeting new people through the game, and challenging every level of the game, competence with the other players, and to explore the gaming content and features. So conclusion of the research. The research study proves with evidence that online games to provide and establish, to make new friends, compete with other players, and to meet new people. Besides online gameplay to make socialization with their friends. It's being analyzed that male prefer to play violent games genre and the females prefer to play non-violent game genres. That's it, sir. These are some of the reference for the research.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation, sir. Should I call next person, Dr. Manikam? Uh, Sir, you can share your screen, sir. DCP number 47.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sharing my screen. My screen is visible, sir.
Sir, you can share your screen, sir.
Yes,
it's
I
visible.
already shared. Yeah, my screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to all.
You are not audible, sir.
I thank the organizer to giving the
So, Manikam, sir, you are not audible. There is issue with your network. I think.
now it's sir, now it's audible.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Okay. Yeah, poetry study and presentation of news and selected print media. So, it's about the people protest of Kodonkulam. So let me enter into the slide.
Mani, your voice is not audible. Is it issue with me or with everybody else? Yeah, Pooja. See.
Statement that the media is the fourth. Hello.
Yeah, now it's okay, Mani. Please go ahead.
It's audible. It's audible. So it's audible now. Hello.
It's audible, but the connection is breaking off, actually, voice connection. Mani, your connection strength is also weak. Actually, the red signals are coming on my Zoom that Mani's network bandwidth is low. You can disconnect and then rejoin if you wish.
I will join with my mobile, sir, through my mobile.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so am I audible, Poovarasan?
Yes, sir. We can
Poovarasan,
It's now audible now?
can we? Yeah, Mani.
Yes, I am connecting with my mobile. So,
Okay, right. Please go ahead now.
Yeah. So the introduction part of my article is the profound statement. Media is the fourth estate of our democracy. It's equipped with English statesman Edmund Burke. Its insightful and proposes of practical responsibility of the media and press in the society. So the role of press and media is a significant providing inform people and facilitate the information to the readers and audiences at the what of actual information. So the audiences with factual information that helps in their perception or opinion and the incidents or events which are create awareness among the people in the society about the looming challenges that would be seemingly intimate the harmonious living at the both individual and collective level. So the news gathering and news presentation. Sorry, sir. So news gathering and news presentation. According to Dennis Maxwell, By framing the image of reality, the information is presented is an interpretive coverage. Therefore, a journalism is a discourse, part of the process which individuals construct the meaning and create the public opinion and criticize the discourse to the public. According to the tennis David West, his handbook, the social movements have played a pivotal role in the process of transferring or changing the communities to societies around the world. So, to express the sympathy of the people interested, the people voices has been suppressed. The people voices has been suppressed due to the lack of information transformation. I think the screen is disconnected, sir.
Yes, sir, your screen was disconnected actually. You can continue. If you need, you can continue, sir. Continue your presentation.
So can I continue, sir? I think my screen is disconnected from the
Okay, sir, no problem. You can continue.
Okay. The statement of research scholars is the media plays a significant role in the informing people about the incidents of varying information around their milieu. So part of the article, the Kodangalam nuclear power protest is the major protest happened in the South India. It's a district of Valley. So the people protest how the media covered protest and how they framed the news is my article. So the objective of the studies to analyze the news content of Kodangalam protest in leading English dailies, the Hindu and the New Indian Express of Tamil Nadu, and to measure the KKNP protest news coverage in Tirunelveli and Chennai edition of the Hindu and New Indian Express to understand the convoluted relationship involved the news gathering and the information presentation of gathered information. These are the objective of the study. So the Kodangalam is the nuclear energy is the fourth largest source of electricity after thermal, hydro, and renewable sources in the electricity. India now envisages by increasing the contribution of nuclear energy in the overall electricity generation capacity from 4.2% to 9% within the 25 years. Already they built in two nuclear reactor in Kodangalam, and upcoming projects, 4 nuclear projects also under the construction in the Kodangalam site. So the anti-Kodangalam protest. So the two major concerns seems have generated anxiety among the citizens in the background of nuclear power plant proposed in Kodangalam, apart from issues such as pollution and risk. There are two major risks of Kodangalam protests: drawing water from nuclear plant from the Pechipara Reservoir Dam, situated into the sea. It's affected by the fishing communities to catch the fish. So the protest was headed by the PMANG, the People Movement Against Nuclear Energy, was formed in 2001 to battle in the KKNP project under the leadership of Dr. S.P. Udayakumar. The local residents, fishermen, farmers, women, and child opposed the project strongly. Despite the opposition, the project was eventually commissioned, and the first 2 reactors began produce the electricity. There are more than 15 fishing villages and other coastal villages in the area spread across the district of Tirunelveli and Kanyakumari, where people united in the causes of the PMA used this unity of villages and mobilized a large number of people. So the methodology, the study is conceptualized as the comparative approach using qualitative research method and content analysis approach that explores the in-depth process of mainstream print media coverage of the Kodangalam nuclear protest. So the content analysis, I used the 1 month newspaper, September 1, 2012 to September 13, 2012. The 1 month newspaper, that is the peak time of the protest happening in the Kodangalam area. So I used the framing theory. So media framing is the way of which information presented to its audience. So the Goffman and Antman used several articles to frame the news presentation and media coverage. So emphasize conflict and emotional aspect of the news and economic consequences of the conflict. These are the common because we can define problem of diagnosis of the various reasons. So the news frames, they are categorized. Sorry.
So can you complete it quickly, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll show the. Yes, sir. These are the frames I used in my study. So dominant frames, casus frames, and definition frames. I collected the 1 month newspaper, and the news was category worked with the framing theory, and there are 3 major frames can be categorized. One is dominant frame, and casus frame, and the definition frame. So the casus frames mainly studied in state and court reinforcement news, human rights violation based news, freedom of expression, and targeting marginalized and external influence and the environmental considerations. So these are the factors analyzed in the textual analysis, and also the t-test was conducted, how the frequency of the news has been published. So I sharing the PPT such table. The table is distributed equally. I think. So my screen is visible, sir.
No, sir. It's not visible actually.
I already shared my screen. So the table is
you can
showing the
again
table,
reshare your screen, sir. Actually.
Yes, sir. This shows Monica Kate started the screen sharing. The information.
Mani, I suggest that you complete your presentation verbally.
Okay,
as you so because we are running out of the time. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir. So I distributed the tables in equally, sir. And finally, conclude of the article is every media organization or independent photojournalists might have the level of presentation connected with the socio and political and economic factor. So the research, information gatherer means as a reporter or journalist or independent photojournalist or a newspaper photojournalist are connected with the media institution like the Hindu or Indian Express. They systematically followed the method of identifying the level of news framing of the protest to infer the state of Indian journalism and understanding the conflict communication. So the powerful people movement as was neglected by the government decision in both newspapers, highly concentrated on authority-based news stories. They publish the news story based on Kodangulam, PRO, what they give, they will publish the stories. They did not consider what the reality is happening in and around the Kodangulam protest. The people protesters ignored the tales of human interest and that were told to the people of the country. On the other side, the stories mainly consist on published based on the press report, authority speech, and court direction. The print media played a huge role in to publish the whole direction against the protest and eliminated the long struggle of the poor fishermen protest. After the protest turned violent on September 10, 2012, the news media system concentrated on the human interest stories. The people were lathi charge and people street were demonstrated by the policeman. The human interest news stories are published after 10, 2012. During the period, the New Indian Express covers maximum news stories regionally and carried out the maximum effort to convey the people protest as well as authority decision. The finding and interferences of the two method of analysis categorically showed that mainstream print media covered the news of the state and court reinforcement at beginning of the prime time of the protest, September 2012. The shift turned towards the protester after the incident of human chain formation. This is the evidence of the framing level from state and court reinforcement and dominance of human rights and freedom of expression frames and human rights violation frames and environmental consideration frames. So these are my findings. Yes, I can. These are my findings of this paper, sir.
Ankit, sir, you completed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I completed, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much, sir. Sir, Umesh, Arya, sir, can you move for the feedback session, sir?
Sorry, Poova. Just please repeat it. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Puva, you said something to me. Yeah.
Sir,
About
we
money.
can go for
investment.
question and answer session, sir. Manikam was already.
Okay, right. So all of the presenters, they have done with the presentations, I think. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Or
Everyone is.
actually, it is much before time than we expected. So
Sir, I
okay.
have one paper, sir. Another paper I am not present, sir.
Silvamani, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you're ready to present now.
Yeah, yes.
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you can share your screen. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you ready, ma'am?
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Okay.
Sir, visible, sir, my slide.
Yeah, ma'am. You can start, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Good morning to all. Intro to myself. I am K. Salomani, Research Scholar, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Periyar University, Salem. Now going to my topic related. A quantitative study among college students of interpersonal relationship found the social media usage between self-esteem and intimacy. This is introduction. Social media has now invaded every part of our life. What began as a means of communication can now influence our viewpoints. Users construct online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content through form of electronic communication. Such as websites for social networking and microblogging. Social media 2020. Next, going to review of literature. Shepherd and Edelman 2005 discovered that when used responsibly, social media can improve a young adult's self-esteem. Social networking can empower a young adult to feel more at ease, allowing them to be less inhibited and self-esteem. Blessing at 2014, intimacy can be experienced by a young adult who uses social media to reach out to develop new relationship and then follows up with those contacts outside of the social media sphere. This is my objective research questions to determine the purpose of using social media, the reasons for using social media, and the emotion associated with using social media. Social media usage and self-esteem, intimacy, interpersonal relationship, benefits of social networking, purpose of using, age, gender on the college students' result. Hypothesis of study. Social media usage differ between self-esteem and intimacy, interpersonal relationship, benefits of social networking, purpose of using, age and gender on the college students' result. This is the research methodology. The study used a quantitative survey method based on social penetration theory. The researcher will conduct the research. The survey sample is made up. Current study is made up students from Salem, Tamil Nadu, India. The survey used to be a routine in which 90 college students in Salem were asked to fill out questionnaires. The self-esteem scale Rosenberg 1965 and the social intimacy scale were also used in the study Miller and Lipcott 1982. result under discussion. Table 1, the both majority of male 45%, female 45% of the respondent had a gender. The age of the respondent majority of 21 to 23, 42.2% age group, 24 to 26, 31.1% age group, above 27, 26.7%. Yes. This is the social table 3. Above the source, that majority of the respondent 25.6% all of the above, 20% connect with friend and family, 21.1% keep with news, gossip trends, 12.2% ordinary events, 7.86% sharing like posters, 4.4% interact with the new people, 2.2% to feel a sense of belonging, 1.1% other respondent had a table 4 shows that majority of the respondents 27.8% all of the above, 22.2% keeping in touch with friends, 89.9% 18.9% to be in, because it's popular nowadays information, 14.4% just for fun and entertainment, 7.8% keeping in touch with the family, 6.7% to meet new people, 2.2% other the respondents had a purpose of using social networking sites. Table 5 shows that majority of the respondent 26.7% happiness, 17.8% all of the above, 11.1% motivation, 11.1% boost of self-esteem, 9% others, 4% self-esteem, 2.2% sense belonging and jealousy, 1.1% rejection of the respondent had a emotion of using social networking sites. This is the from the above table we have weak correlation 0.032. The correlation is not significant at the 0.762 level. Social media usage and self-esteem. Next, table 7. From the above table, we have weak negative correlation minus 0.035. The correlation is not significant at the level. At the 0.74, the 741 level, there were 90 pairs of data. From the above table 8, we have a strong correlation 0.109. The correlation is not significant at the 0.309 level. There were 90 pairs of data. Table 9. From the above table 9, we have weak correlation 0.047. The correlation is not significant at the 0.658 level. There were 90 pairs of the data. From the above table 10, we have a strong correlation 0.332. The correlation is significant at the level at the 0.001 level. There were 90 pairs of data. Negative correlation minus 0.122. The correlation is not significant at the 0.252 level. There were 90 pairs of the data. From the above table 12, we have a strong correlation 0.142. The correlation is not significant at the 0.183 level. There were 90 pairs of the data. Now, conclusion: male and female respondents made up the majority of the respondents. The majority of the respondents are between the ages of 21 and 23, with the next group being between the ages of 24 and 26, at the last group being between the ages of 27 and the above. The majority of the respondents all of the above for social media reasons. The majority of the respondents are happiness for social media emotions, and the majority of the respondents are all of the above for social media purposes. There is some correlation between the purpose of utilizing social media and the use of social media was substantial. There is a link between self-esteem, intimacy, interpersonal relationship, benefits of social networking sites, age and gender of the college students was not significant. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Sir, Umesh, Arya, sir, you can take over, sir, for the feedback.
Okay, so yes, let me put my camera on. Right. So I think all of the participants they have presented, yeah. Poovarasan, yeah. Am I right?
Seven, sir.
7. So, has any participant joined late or hasn't presented as
No,
yet
sir.
and want?
One person was not feeling well, so he didn't join the session actually.
Okay, so that means all the who were supposed to be here, they are here and they have presented, right? Nobody's left extra.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's good. Yes. Okay, so yeah, it was a very enlightening session actually, and the more enlightening part was that this session included people from various backgrounds, researchers from various angles, right from artificial intelligence, that's the most modern topic, to the topics related to the disability. These topics are slightly, conventional now, but they haven't presented in a very nice way. So that's good part of it. Now I would like to request everybody to kindly switch on their video cameras, and if you have any questions to the participants, then you can ask either through the chat or I think Purva, can we give them the right to unmute themselves so that they can ask the questions while speaking, or they can write in the chat whatever you think good. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, so merge to meeting. See, I don't have that right of unmuting you people. So if you have any Q&A, question and answer questions to the people, the participants here, then you can write in the chat, and that will be taken up for the discussion here at particular. Mani, please mute yourself. I think some background coming. Okay. So I had one observation when people were presenting on disability, and this was the word used.
Sir, it was muted actually.
Okay, right. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Now you're right.
So, yeah, Pooja, I was saying that can we give them the option of unmuting themselves, or they are supposed to write question in the chat?
They can ask questions through verbal, sir. Verbal form.
Okay.
It will be helpful for the communication actually.
Okay, you can raise your hands also. You can see the reactions part of it at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Like if I show you mine, then you can see that I have thumbs it up, right? So you can raise your hand, and then we would give you the mic, and then you can ask the question, and the respective participant is supposed to answer that question. So I was having one observation myself. So you can call it a question also or observation also. So I was going through the presentations very keenly, each and every presentation. So the word disability was used at more than one places and in more than one presentations, right? So I don't know whether people are still using this word in down south or in adjoining areas, but in north we don't use it anymore. So the word the government has given is differently able. So disability is okay, fine, because there cannot be exact related word to it like different ability. So it will create some kind of confusion. So that way disability is good. But when the word disable is there, then definitely the government has advised us that we should use the word differently able, because they are not disabled they are very capable in certain ways that which we are not. So that was one observation as far as this is concerned. And as regards that artificial intelligence by, I think Meenakshi was the one, Meenakshi Upadhyaya, is she here? No. Well, I think she has left. Okay. So their artificial intelligence, it was actually normative paper. You can say that it can be a position paper also, though herself referred it to as the review paper. So there are many instances that AI has been, elevated to the stature which is much beyond its actual potential actually. So why I'm saying this is that I'm from a background where we have seen traditional media virtually transforming into the digital media, right? So people, students and research scholars of today's age, they were born in the era of the technology only, and they have seen all these things themselves, right? But we are from different background, right? So we have seen that highly traditional part in 2000, 2000, that was 1993 when we joined mass communication as a student. So no amount of technology was there, not even the basic telephone, right? So that was the this thing. So now everything is technological. So the point I want to make here is that when these new technologies, they were coming into being around 98, 97, 98. So much hype was created in media about these technologies, right? That these are the panacea of every every problem, and most of the things will be taken care of by these people. So now after 20 or 23 years, on the base of my experience in media teaching, I can tell you that that hype was overhype. It was not just a hype but overhype, right? So ICTs, they have created more problems than solutions, right? So I have a hunch, or I'm afraid that the same amount of hype is being given to the AI applications now, and after say 15 to 20 years from now, again the same situation will be there, and then we will be discrediting AI. So that should not happen, and we should be realistic in our estimations. That's only the simple observation from my side, right? So Poovarasan, I don't think that people they are asking questions. Huh? Okay, so by using my power as a chairman, yeah. So I am giving all of you the right to present your observation, if not the questions, right? If you are not asking the question, it's okay. So is it okay, Poovarasan? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, sir, but I think they have any class maybe. So shall we wind up the session, sir?
As you wish, because you asked me to, wind up it by 11:45, so that's why I was stretching it a little bit. Yeah. So we can end this session now also. Yeah. Yes.
Anybody is interested to speak, give any feedback? Participants have any feedback to say? I think, sir, I think no one going to be. Shall we write up, sir?
Okay, so we should wind it up, huh? And thanks to all the participants. Huh? Yeah, it would be better if these presentations shared with the organizers, so that we can also have a look on these presentations at our own time, and we can learn something about them. Thank you so much, all the participants and our organizers, Poovarasan and others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We are going to end the session. Thank you for your time spending with us, and it's more valuable to us. We learned something from you, sir. So, shall we wind up the today's session, sir?
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Nanda.